learning new things, I think, for a lot of people has been quite interesting. I know some of the people that I've been talking to lately, there sort of seemed to be a lack of confidence, because also they haven't got all the information. They don't know what's going to be happening in the future. So there seems to be a kind of, confidence issue at the moment. Are you finding that at all?
Yeah. Yes, if I'm really honest, yes, I think it's easy to put on this brave face. I'm okay, but yeah, I struggle all the time. Like, it was only yesterday I kind of had a few tears and I went to my physio because I feel like I'm turning 36. I was going for the Olympics, then retiring. Now all of a sudden I'm on the track doing my work and I'm thinking I've got to go from here to like here for another year. Can I do it? My body feels tired, my brain feels tired, mentally I feel like tired. I don't know if I've got it in me. I started questioning Tokyo. I started thinking maybe I just haven't got it. Maybe I need to relax now. And then I had these thoughts went on for a probably good 2-3 hours. And then I thought, fish, stop. You're okay. Like, just trust the process. Trust the people who are going to get you from here to here when you have to go. For now, just stay here. Does that make sense? And I just try and see that part of my brain, but because that for me affects my confidence, because that's my identity, that's what I do, that's who I am. And I feel like my confidence as well, my mum laughs at me, but it's all in perspective. Like, I've put on weight, I put on lockdown weight, and I've got a little love handle, and I'm supposed to be seen as this athlete. And I feel like I've put on weight and I don't like it. Training hard won't get me to Tokyo any faster or any quicker. If anything, it will probably, be a detrimental effect. So that also affects me as well.
Yeah. Oh, I think it does, that kind of whole image we have of ourselves, isn't it? How we see ourselves physically, how we see ourselves emotionally. But it's so important to kind of believe in yourself, isn't it? It's like, we weren't born to be perfect. We were born to be real. And, I think sometimes it's kind of like real people have off days, they have good days. But that belief in yourself gives you the courage, doesn't it, to be able to get through situations?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And a lot of people say to me, well, how do you believe? How do you do it? But if I'm honest, it just comes from being happy with who you are. And I think if you look at your inside, and we spoke about before about values and what you stand for, and who you want to be and what you want to be able to stand for, if you've got that part right, that's the foundation then to start to get your belief in yourself, because you like who you are. You like what you're seeing back in the mirror because it's an honest character, it's a transparent character, it's a real person.
Yeah.
And I think then once you're real and you're honest with yourself, you then feel in a calmer state. And in a calmer state, I believe, is where the magic will start to happen. That's when you can truly go, you know what? I do believe in myself. Some others might, and that's okay. And I'm okay with them not believing in me. But I do believe in myself.
Yeah, definitely. And I know it's like with some of the work I do around human resilience and some of the research and observations I've made, there's a term that's used a lot called self-efficacy. And it's all about how much do you believe in yourself, and particularly with recovery. If you absolutely believe that you can recover and you can get through situations, that aids your ability to be able to come back through, adversity, to be able to recover, to be stronger. It helps to build your inner strength as well.
Yeah, I can relate to that being a sports person, but I think on the back of that, Liggy, I think people also have to be willing to want to be better. We all have days where we don't believe. I had one yesterday where I didn't believe and I thought, I've lost it. Then actually you have to be able to go take yourself back to yourself again. What do I stand for? Where do I want to be? Where do I find success? Well, success for me is getting through this COVID and going towards that next Olympics. I can't afford to get distracted by those thoughts because, they will get you down. But like you, I think you've alluded to this a few times, like it's okay to have those thoughts. It doesn't mean you're bad because you're having these thoughts. It doesn't mean it has to affect the rest of your day because you've had a bad morning. It just means you've had a bad hour or a bad 2 hours.
Yeah. But then that's where you have to kind of draw the line, embrace what you're going to do next. And so much of what you were talking about makes me think of willpower, because it is, isn't it? It's being able to access that kind of like magic center to say, okay, I'm having a bad day, this is difficult, but you know what, I can get up, I can dust myself off, and I can move forward. So that's so key.
I come across a few people, Liggy, who go, oh, I've had a bad morning. That's it now. I shouldn't have gotten out of bed and I shouldn't carry on my day. I just need to go home. And I think, whoa, stop. You've had a bad hour or you've had one bad experience. You can still stop it at the next minute or the next 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever time you need, because it's very, some people get over things really quickly, don't they? Some people take time. That's okay. So it comes back to knowing yourself, to knowing how much time do you need to allow yourself. Okay, well, I know I probably need a bit of a coffee, I need to chill, I need to breathe. Probably 2 hours, then I'm going to come back. And actually at 1 o'clock, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to start my day at 1 o'clock. And you can still have all these positives when you've had one negative experience.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just kind of like accepting those, isn't it? And moving on. It's a bit like failure, you know, when you get something wrong, you've got, you know, choices. You can either beat yourself up and give yourself a really hard time and keep dwelling on it, or just accept that that's part of the journey, isn't it? I mean, most of the really big successes I've had have come from a string of like failures and getting things wrong. So, you know, it's not such a bad thing after all.
My biggest lessons have come from my hardest times. And as an athlete, I've fallen so many more times than I have been up here. You know, it's like you said, it's part of the journey, but it's also part of life, and we can't actually get hung up on what is failure, and it's seen as this negative already. The word failure for me just it has this negative mindset around it, whereas it's okay that it hasn't gone quite right. Because even in your darkest times is where I have found my biggest strengths. It may take longer, you may have to sit tight and be really uncomfortable for a little bit. Once you've accepted it, then you'll start to flourish again, won't you?
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? I'd love to take the word fail and score it out the dictionary altogether and replace it with the word learn, because that essentially is what it is, isn't it? It's all of those things and how we can recover from that. And it's so much to do with mindset, don't you think?
Massive. I think, you know, for me, you know, especially my career, it's if I look after my mind, my body will follow. You know, when I've been under the best coaches, it's not sometimes because they are the best coach, they know everything. It's because they've allowed me to be myself and they've allowed me to be relaxed and calm.
That mind chatter as well, because we have tens of thousands of thoughts a day. I think the latest research is we have between 50 and 70,000 thoughts a day. So that's quite a volume of thoughts, isn't it? And, you know, our subconscious is on 24/7. So there's lots of mind chatter going on there. But,
that's
yeah, I know when I chat to you, you talk about this library of thoughts, and that's so powerful, isn't it? You think about this library of thoughts, and it's the quality of those thoughts that's so important.
Yeah, and your library of thoughts, like you'll know more about this, Liggy, but you know, for me, they stem from childhood. Issues that I've gone through from the Olympics and post-Olympics, pre-Olympics, that my alopecia, my confidence, being okay with my hair loss, being okay with not wearing a wig, coming back from a broken back. For me, they all stem back to what happened as a child, and they all stem back to how secure I felt, and I suppose me as a human being and how I came back from stuff, or how I had to bounce back from stuff because I had no choice. And I even now at my age, and I suppose as an experienced player, I have to rejig my thoughts and rejig my library. And I, like when I just told you about that example of the coach, I had to then rejig in 2016-17 season that I can make mistakes. So, but every time you make a mistake, you know what you do, you put your hand up, you go sorry, and then you stay in this box for a little bit. So you have to rejig your whole library of thoughts, but you're the expert. How do you do it?
How do you rejig your thoughts? I think it's the acknowledgement, isn't it, of the quality of thoughts and how much mind chatter. And it's listening to yourself. You know, sometimes you need to have a really good chat with yourself and reframe some of the language. Sorry?
I'll be there forever.
I know the feeling. But it is listening to yourself and listening to the quality of the thoughts that you have and reframing some of the language that you use. I mean, fortunately, we now know that the brain is neuroplastic, so we can actually rewire our thinking, and having that kind of growth mindset and being able to open your mind and know that you can change and be open to the possibility of that is really helpful.